How's everyone doing? If you've got any questions or a Google Business profile you want me to look at live, make sure to drop the links in chat. We're going to be doing a audit of a accountant firm or accounting firm, some bookkeeping, and we're also going to do a CPA. This is going to be an audit of a bookkeeping business. We're gonna look over their website, see what do they have going on internally, what are their internal links, what's going on in their sitemap, their robots.txt. We're also gonna look at what's going on externally. So with their Google Business Profile, what are they doing to optimize it? Is it properly optimized? What are their URL structures that they're linking to? So on all of their social profiles and social posts, are they linking back to their site? When they're linking back to their site, do those links have the proper URL structure, or are they force feeding Google 301 redirects? So first things first, I'm going to look at the Google Business Profile. And when I went and searched in Google for bookkeeping Pensacola, Florida, their profile is coming in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this bookkeeping company in Pensacola, Florida is coming in at the 8th spot when I search bookkeeping. What this means is that they're probably barely getting any interactions or clicks or calls on their Google Business Profile. When you set up your Google Business Profile and you start optimizing it, you get it in place. Your primary category is matching the keyword that you want to your Google Business Profile to get clicks for. You want to be in that top 3. If you're not in the top 3 when someone searches, that little map pack, those 3 little Google Business Profile icons, whenever you search, you're more than likely not going to get a lot of interaction, a lot of calls, a lot of clicks to your website, or a lot of directions coming to your office. One of the 3 of the big things that you need to check are: is your bookkeeping Google Business Profile a service area based business? You do not want to be a service area based business. What you want to be is a physical address verified location. What that means is when you go to your bookkeeping's Google Business Profile, you'll see show address. You want to show the address, and then you want to go through the verification process. Bookkeeping companies that verify their Google Business Profile on average are going to rank higher than those with Google Business Profiles that are service area based businesses. Not only that, when someone searches for bookkeeping near me, if you have a verified address, what's going to happen is that you're going to rank higher than those without a verified address. Whenever they add that near me or other modifiers to the keyword that they're searching in Google, those are going to have drastic effects on what profiles show up and in what position do they rank. The next thing you want to do is place a keyword in your Google Business Profile name. You do not want to keyword stuff the name. You just want to simply have 1 or 2 keywords from what is searched for your services. So whenever someone goes into Google to look for your services or your product, in this case it's bookkeeping, so they type in bookkeeping near me, we want to have that keyword in the Google Business Profile name. Thirdly, we want to make sure that our primary category, the first category you select when setting up your Google Business Profile, is most appropriate for the services, the keywords that we want to rank for. So we want our primary category to be bookkeeping service. Now, this accountant that I'm looking at right now has accountant first. So if they were wanting to rank for bookkeeping, they would need to switch out their primary category from accountant to bookkeeping service. They have it as one of their subcategories, which is good. But if that's their main service, the main thing that they're wanting to rank for, they need to switch it out. Next is that they don't have a appointment URL set on their Google Business Profile. So under your bookkeeping Google Business Profile, what you're going to want to do is go to it. You're going to go edit, and then you're going to scroll down to appointment URL or appointment link. Even if you don't have an appointment setting software or something that can facilitate setting up appointments, you can still set that link to your homepage or your contact us page. Then next on their profile, let's look at their services. So they've got 14 services, which is great. So if they're wanting to rank for bookkeeping services or bookkeeping terms, what you want to do on your Google Business Profile is under that primary category, bookkeeping service, we then want to go behind and add services or keywords that are very similar or exactly that service you offer. Once you start adding those, then on the back end afterwards to each service, you want to then add a 2 to 3 sentence description for each of those services. So then now let's go look at this. So they have a full 750 character description, which is great. They haven't posted on their Google Business Profile since April. So they're posting generic photos on their Google Business Profile. So anytime you're going to post events, updates, or offers on your Google Business Profile, you don't want to use stock photos. You want to use photos that you've rather taken or someone on your team has taken. Also, you want it to be relevant and actually be something that is worthy writing about. Right now, I'm looking at one that is just a generic photo. It's just a copyright free image that they've placed on their Google Business Profile. Then the text or below the post, there's not really anything that is relevant to bookkeeping. Not only that, there's no link back to their page. Let's say that you were to start writing a new blog, you posted it on your website. What you then can do is you can put a update or a post on your Google Business Profile talking about that and linking back to it. Or let's say you got a new location area that you serve, or you got a new service that you're starting to offer as well. What you can also do is anytime you get a new 5-star review, you can make a post about that as well. They have photos in their reviews, and you can use those as well in the post so that we're not using these copy free generic images. The other thing too is that you want to be posting on your Google Business Profile at a consistent cadence. You don't want to have a week or a two as a bookkeeping company where you're not posting consistently on your Google Business Profile. You want to maintain a consistent cadence. Now, is it one? Is it two? Is it three? Is it four? It doesn't matter. What matters is that we continuously post. So also on their profile, they have links to their YouTube and Facebook. So let's go look at these. Okay. That's their Facebook. Let's see. So there's nothing there. They also have a LinkedIn. They've got Yelp. trying to see if they also have a Instagram. So this bookkeeping company only has their YouTube and Facebook linked on their Google Business profile. What you want to make sure you're doing is that you have each of the social platforms that Google allows you to link to on your profile. So that is YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, Threads, and Pinterest and Instagram. So even if you don't plan on posting on those social platforms, you need to go and make company accounts for each of those. On all of those social platforms, your company needs a profile on those. On each of those, then in the bio or the about section, you also need to include your address, the name of your business, your phone number, and then a link to your website. And these have to remain consistent across all of them. Then, let's say on a few of the platforms you are going to post, make sure that you're including a link that's going back to your website. So it can be towards the homepage, or what it can also be towards is your new blog, your new service page, or even your new location page. What this also does is it will help keep those pages indexed and help get them indexed. When Google goes and crawls all your social profiles, sees all of these external links pointing back to those pages, this will send Google more often to those pages, which will get them crawled more often. Not only that, those social posts will stay up. Each time Google crawls social media and finds them, then it gets another instance in which it will find your URLs, it will follow them, which helps keep all of those URLs that you've linked to indexed longer and helps get them indexed. So on this bookkeeping company, they've got the www URL structure on their Facebook account. So anytime you're linking back to your site, what you want to make sure you're doing as a bookkeeping company is you are not using the wrong URL structure. So what do I mean by that? So if you visit your site and it is a non www, so bookkeeping.com, right? That's a non www. Or if you go to your site and it gives you www.bookkeeping.com, what you want to make sure you're doing is you're linking to whatever is served on your site. What you don't want to do is, let's say your site is www, but all of your external links don't have that www. What happens is that you're feeding Google a 301 redirect for no reason. Not only that, you lose a little bit of what you would have gotten if instead of that 301 redirect, you linked to the actual URL of that page or of your site. So they have the www version. Let's look at also their phone number, 251 6666 5551. Okay, so that's good. Their phone number is accurate. The link in their Facebook profile is accurate as well. It's got the correct URL structure, but the link up here doesn't, so I'd go and clean that up. Looking at their posts, they posted 2 days ago, which is good. I would like to get a link on this post back to the website. Anytime we're posting on social media, even as a bookkeeping company, you want to make sure you have a link that is going back to your site. Yeah, so they're posting frequently. They just need to be having links going back to their site. Their LinkedIn page. So this bookkeeping's LinkedIn page doesn't currently have a link going back to their site. Anytime you go and create a social media profile on any of these platforms, always make sure that your about is filled out, the name, the address, and the phone number are all exactly the same, and get that link going back to your site. Let's look at their YouTube. So this bookkeeping's YouTube doesn't have links to all of their other social profiles. So YouTube is another Google asset. On your YouTube profile, what you can do is, as a bookkeeping company, you can link to all of your other socials, your social profiles, and you can link to your website. Then when you go to post on YouTube, you can also include a link in the description going back to your site as well. This is going to help with getting new pages indexed, and it's going to help keep pages indexed longer. I just remembered I forgot music. So let's look at their Yelp. The Yelp is good. The phone number is good. Directions are good. This is awesome. Hours are accurate. Okay. Let's look at their Better Business Bureau. So double check your Better Business Bureau listing as a bookkeeping company. What you don't want to have happen is the website URL, your phone number, or your address are different than where you actually are located. What this does is that it causes Google to be confused because all of a sudden on your Better Business Bureau profile and on your Google Business profile, it's showing two different sources of information. It's showing a different phone number, it's showing a different address. So Google doesn't know what is the actual phone number of your business or where you actually are located. So across all instances in which your company is referenced, you need to make sure that you have a consistent name, you have a consistent address, and you have a consistent phone number, and the link going back to your site is consistent as well. So whenever you have a embedded map on your website, as a bookkeeping company, you want to make sure that it is actually linking back to your Google Business profile. If you're not, you're just linking to some random address, Google doesn't know, or Google is going to look at that and be like, okay, so is that where you're actually located? Why do we have this embedded map on our website? You want to instead have it linking to your bookkeeping company's Google Business profile. When you go to your profile, you're going to click share. You're then going to click embed a map. Then that is the code you want to be placing on your site so that we actually tie your website. We embed the correct URL. We embed the correct code of your actual Google Business profile. So they're currently not doing it. Also, so as a bookkeeping company, on your website, you want to make sure that you have links to all of the social profiles that your Google Business profile allows you to list. So you want to make sure that you have a link to your YouTube, to your LinkedIn, to your Twitter account, to your Threads account, to your Instagram, and your Facebook, and then last, your Pinterest. Whenever you go to edit your Google Business profile, what you'll see under the social profile section is that you're allowed to link to those 7. Not only do they all need their own profile, that is your business name with the correct address, the correct phone number, and a link going back to your site, but they also need to be all on your website. You need to reference them or link to them on your website as well. And what you need to do is you need to place them in your same as schema on your site as well. So they currently have links on their service page that it's linking to a 2024 August 15th page. So whenever you go to create a service page for your bookkeeping's website, what you want to make sure is that the page is distinctly different. You want to aim for around 1,000 to maybe like 1,500 words, but there should be a purpose behind it, right? There should be a reason this page is created. It's not a templated cutout that is similar to all of your other service pages. It needs to be distinctly different. What I'm currently looking at is a bookkeeping company page, and all it just has like this very templated few paragraphs, and then it has a massive carousel at the center of the page that is linking to pages that are from 2024 and it's currently 2026. So make sure whenever you're creating a service page that it is serving a purpose. It's distinctly different from your other service pages. You want to make sure the heading tags are all optimized for the service or the keyword that you're wanting to target. So like your main heading tag needs to be almost like an exact match of the keyword or the service you're trying to target. Then as you go down the heading structure, you want to start to add other keywords that are adjacent or similar. Then start getting into some keyword variations and adding entities, getting LSI words in there as well. Yeah, so it seems like on all of their location pages, they have a embedded map, but it's not correct because it's not linking to an actual Google business profile. This one is, but their Pensacola one is not. Oh, this one as well. So it seems it's just their Pensacola page. Let's see. If you guys have any questions, make sure to drop them in chat. Or if you want me to look over your Google Business profile here live or website, you can link it in chat as well. I'm just looking over some things real quick. Okay. So this bookkeeping company has zero schema? No, that's not correct. Yeah, so whenever you create a locations page, you want to make sure that you display the address. If you don't have the address or you're not talking about certain zip codes on the page, you're not adding anything that is geographically relevant to the page, it's going to be hard for Google to know that that is the location. So whenever someone searches for like bookkeeping services, Pensacola, Florida, that location page is not going to rank because you never included the address or other geographically relevant terms or information relevancy on the page. Not only that, what you also want to do is with your internal linking, so from your blogs, from your services, from your other location pages, you want to create a silo or you want to link them. When you go to link them, you want to use relevant anchor text. So you want to target the keyword that someone is searching for when they're trying to look for your service. So an example for this would be bookkeeping Pensacola, Florida. That would be the anchor text that you can use from your blogs, from your location pages, from your other service pages as well. Not only that, to add even more geographic relevance, what we want to do is we want to do a blog that is all about geographic relevance. So what does that mean? So what you want to do is create a blog that is things to do in Pensacola, Florida, or tourist attractions in Pensacola, Florida, or even like top 10 museums or places to eat. Why we do this is we want to create geographic relevance, right? So what does that mean? We want to talk about an area so much that Google can tie the geographic things we're referencing, right? We're going to be linking to the museum's Google Business Profile. We're going to be linking to the tourist attractions Google Business Profile. If they also have a Wikipedia page, we're going to be linking to that on the page to tie that relevance, to tie all of that information that Google knows about this area code, knows about this city to the page. We're also going to link to the area code. We're going to link to the city's Wikipedia page. So then Google can go and see all of that. Get the idea and understanding, oh, okay, this is about this specific area. This page then also has a link that includes that city. So Pensacola in this instance, they're a bookkeeping company in Pensacola. It's going to use the anchor text of bookkeeping Pensacola from that geographically relevant blog content to the location page that we want ranking for that service or that keyword, bookkeeping Pensacola, Florida. So they're using a .tax top level domain. Whenever you go to choose your domain name as a bookkeeping company, what you want to make sure is that it's a .com. You don't want to do .tax, .io, .co, .org, what have you. You want it to be a .com top level domain. This domain, this top level domain of a .com is going to rank higher in Google. So when people go to search for bookkeeping services near me or bookkeeping services, because you have that .com top level domain, you're going to rank higher on average versus all of these other top level domains like .tax, .io, .co. Oh no. So on their site, they're pulling a lot of their information from JavaScript. So on your bookkeeping website, you do not want to use JavaScript to display text. The best bet, the best thing to do for your bookkeeping website is to have it all static HTML. This is going to give you a better site speed. Not only that, each time Google comes and crawls your website, it's going to see all of the content. A majority of the time when Google comes by, it has rendering disabled. So what that means is that majority of the time when Googlebot comes to crawls to see, okay, what content is on the site, what is the site about, and you're pulling a majority of your content through JavaScript, it's not going to see that. What has to happen is then Google has to recognize that and then send it to a separate queue, which can take days, weeks, or months for that crawler to come by and then have rendering enabled to see all that JavaScript content to be displayed. So while you visit your site and you see all of the content, Google does not. When you visit the site, your browser is doing all the rendering for you. So for us, when we visit the site, we see all the content, but for Google, all of those keywords, keyword variations, LSI terms, and entities that we thought were on page, we thought all of our on-page SEO was being displayed to Google, is not. Not only that, with everything being static HTML, the other benefit that you get is your site loads extremely fast. It's not necessarily a ranking factor, but what it does impact is your conversion rate. What we have to think of is when someone is visiting our site and they're not at home, they're not on Wi-Fi, they're out and about, and they're on rather like a 3G network, we have to think about them, not the person that has Wi-Fi on right now. We have to think about the person out and about that is searching for your services. If your site is heavy in JavaScript or heavy in images that haven't been compressed, what's going to happen is that they're going to click your link in Google search. It's going to take 3 to 5 seconds. They're not going to wait 3 to 5 seconds. They're going to click up. They're going to close it, and they're going to go to the next site. That next site is then going to get they're going to get their service. Your site won't, because you're using JavaScript, because you have heavy images, because your site speed is so slow. So on your bookkeeping website, what you want to do is on your about page, if you have team members, if you're not just a solo operator, each of your team members should have their own page. On each of their pages, we need to get very verbose about who they are, what they do, where they grew up, alumni of, like their education. We need to talk about how much they know about bookkeeping, how long they've been doing bookkeeping. We need to also link, if their school that they went to has a Wikipedia page, we need to link to those. We also need to really beef up this schema about them. So schema's JSON LD. In the schema, we need to get super verbose about who they are. We need to be linking to their social profiles. So if they have a Facebook, if they have a LinkedIn, if they have Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, we need a link to it in there as well. We need to get verbose about the description about each member so that we build each of them up for Google to see, oh, okay, so this is a legit business. They have these 10 team members. Each of these members have all of this relevant content. we're building the authority of each of your members in Google, so Google gets a better understanding of like, oh, okay, so this is a legit business. They've got all of these team members, they have all of this information about them. And then what that does is that helps you be placed as a legit business in Google's eyes so that we can rank that site higher. So we get those clicks for when people search for bookkeeping services. So whenever you place images on your website as a bookkeeping company, you want to make sure that you're putting an alt text behind each image. So the alt text doesn't have to be crazy, just 2 to 3 sentences describing what's in the image. Get some of your entities in there, get some of your keywords in there, get some of your keyword variations, your LSI terms. Talk about if the photo is something of your area or if it's at one of your locations. Talk about the location in the alt text. Get more SEO on page that doesn't have to be displayed each time someone visits the site, because we can get pretty verbose in our alt text for each image. So on this accountant's, so on this bookkeeping website, they have a service page, and one of their services is for elder care planning, but it's linking to a page that doesn't exist. So it's force feeding Google a 404 error every time Google comes by and crawls this page. This is exactly what you want to avoid. If you do not have a page anymore, stop linking to it. Check your sitemap, check your website, check everything. If the URL doesn't exist, we need to stop linking to it. Or what's happening is that we're force feeding a 404. If the page doesn't exist, but you're 301 redirecting it, don't link to the URL that's going to redirect. Just link to the new URL. Even if there's still that URL out there and you're still just 301 redirecting it, just stop linking to this URL. Just link to the new one. Stop force feeding Google 301s or 404 errors. So, as a bookkeeping company, what you want to make sure you're doing is that your CMS or the website builder you're using is not creating new URLs for no reason. I'm currently looking at a bookkeeping website right now, and the WordPress they're using has this bug or this artifact that's creating new category URLs, which then displays all of the blog content that they've created that fit under a certain category. Not only that, they also have an author, and they have different types of authors. So what's happening, why this matters, is each time this is creating a new URL. This is creating a new page for Google, and it's being placed in the sitemap so Google's able to find it. What this does is that all of a sudden you go from maybe like a dozen to a couple dozen pages to you get URL bloat. You have 12 different categories, you have a couple different authors on your site, and then all of a sudden now you go from a couple dozen to you have 60, you have 80, you have 100, and only a couple dozen of them are actual pages that have an actual purpose. You do not want this to happen. What this does is that you're going to start getting indexing issues. You're going to start having pages rank lower. So you're going to start getting less and less traffic from when people are searching for your services like bookkeeping or bookkeeping services. Your website's not going to be found because all of a sudden now you went from a couple dozen web page website to now you have 100, and almost none of them have any purpose. You're just going to get penalized by Google. "21 pages are missing an H1." So I'm currently looking at a bookkeeping company's website, and 21 of their pages are missing a H1 tag. So anytime you go and create a page, what you want to make sure you're doing is you want that H1 to have an exact match to the keyword that page is supposed to target. So as an example, if they had bookkeeping services, then you would want that H1 to have bookkeeping services in it. Okay, this is actually way worse. So because that's interesting. Oh no. Oh no. So on this book company, so on this bookkeeping company's website, what's happening in their blog content is that they have new URLs being created every time they add a category, they add an author, and whenever they reach a certain amount of blog content, there's a new URL for each pagination that's occurring. So that last point, that pagination, what does that mean? So if you have, let's say, 30 blogs and only 6 are shown at a time, so you have 5 pages. In that bottom right, you'll click and go through the pages. If each time there's a new URL created to Google, that's a new page. So you have an additional 4 pages that serve no purpose. You're just creating this URL bloat. So now let's go back to the categories. So now you have a / category / APM, right? And then now you have that pagination URL. So not only do you have this unnecessary, this URL bloat, this waste of a category URL, now you have a category URL page 2. But wait, now you also have the author. So you have a couple of authors on your site. They each have authored blogs, right? So let's say that it's evenly split. They all now have a / author, right? So like it'd go / blog / author / and then that's that page that has a whole bunch of links, but then it paginates. So now we have author page 2. So then you combine all of these, you add these, and all of a sudden now you go from having 15, maybe like 30 pages. Well, no, let's do 45. You go from having 45 pages to you now have 150. And 115, 105 of those serve no purpose. Google's like, okay, what's going on here? All of a sudden, we just have a whole bunch of URLs that aren't doing anything. Our indexing starts becoming a problem, and getting a full crawl depth on all of our pages starts becoming a problem. We have a whole bunch of these URLs that are taking all of our crawl budget. So Google never hits our new service page that we updated with our SEO on-page SEO optimization. So then that page stays on that page, that third page of Google whenever someone searches for bookkeeping services. We never get to the first page. We never get to that first position. So we never get the click or the call. So on this bookkeeping company, they also have 12 pages that don't have a meta description. They've got 8 images missing alt text. They've also are not doing their shared icons. Okay. So this is the end of this bookkeeping audit. If you would like your site audited, DM it to me on Instagram or drop it down below. Drop the URL down below or your Google Business profile, and I'll look at them. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. If anybody's got any questions, go ahead and drop them in chat and I'll answer them live here. Or if you have a website or a Google Business profile you'd like me to look at, go ahead and drop it down in the chat as well. Let's go ahead and get set up for the next one. What the? What in the? That's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. What the? I'm so confused in so many ways. This is insane. Oops. This is going to be an audit of a certified personal accountant's website and Google Business Profile. So what we're going to look at is what's currently going on internally with their site. How are they linking to certain pages? Are any of these links causing 301 redirects? Are they causing any 404 errors? What's the overall site structure? How does everything look? Then we're going to look at what is going on externally. So on their social media profiles, what's going on? Are we linking back to the site? Are we posting on social that also has links going back to the site? How are our listings looking? So our directory listings like Better Business Bureau, we've also got Yelp, MapQuest. What's going on there? Are we maintaining that consistent name, address, phone number, and website URL? Then we're going to look at the Google Business Profile. What's going on with the Google Business Profile? Is it fully optimized? Do we have a keyword in the name? Do we have a verified address Google Business Profile, or is it a service area based business profile? What's going on with all the attributes or everything else that we can fill out on the profile? So first thing I want to start off with this certified public accountant website is that when I click the website, so I will open this. Oh, now it doesn't. Is it because it's cached? So when I click on their website, it takes an absurd amount of time to load. So I'm at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seconds. It took 9 seconds for this CPA's website to load. So web speed isn't a ranking factor, but what it does impact is, let's say that you do happen to rank in that first position for CPA near me. If someone clicks on your site and it takes 9 seconds to load, they're just going to click off and they're going to go to somebody else's website. So now it may not impact your rankings, that position you place in Google, whether if you place in the first position or if you place in the 23rd, which would be the third page. What happens if you ever do get that click is it's going to take them 9 seconds to load that page, and they're not going to wait the 9 seconds. They're going to wait maybe 1, 2, or 3, and then they're going to close out and they're going to go to somebody else, and they're going to get their CPA advice from them instead. So looking at the CPA's Google Business Profile, they're doing a lot of things great. When you go to set up your CPA Google Business Profile, you want to make sure that you have a verified address. So when you set it up, you want to click that thing that says show address to customers. If you do not have a verified address Google Business Profile, what happens when someone searches for CPA near me, you're going to rank lower on average. Not only that, when they simply search for CPA, you're going to rank lower. So what does that mean, rank lower? So whenever you type in a keyword or whenever you're searching for something, there's this thing called the 3-pack. So the 3-pack is whenever you search for that keyword, so CPA near me, there's going to be those 3 Google Business Profiles that appear. Those 3 get an overwhelming majority of all the clicks, all the calls, all the interactions, all the directions towards their CPA firm. Anything below that 3-pack, you're getting like less than 5%, and that's distributed across all of the other like 17 profiles. So we want that CPA firm Google Business Profile to be in that first or the second or third position. We want to be in the top 3. So you want the keyword in your name, so CPA. You also want your primary category, certified public accountant. Then you want that verified address. If you're a service area based profile, you're going to rank lower on average. You're going to be in that 15, that 5, that 6, that 12, that 30th position. And you're going to see way less interactions, less calls, less clicks to your website on your Google Business Profile. So keep that in mind. On their Google Business Profile, they do not have a appointment link. They've got 29 services, which is good. So as a CPA firm, your Google Business Profile needs to have a appointment link set on it, right? Now, if you don't have an appointment setting software, that doesn't matter. What you need to do is you need a link to your contact us page, or you need a link directly to your form, or you just need a link to your homepage. Just on your Google Business Profile, you need to have a link in that appointment URL setting, right? So as a CPA firm on your Google Business Profile, you want to have services listed. So the services that you list need to be the keywords that people search for your services. So as an example, accounting services, advisory services, asset management, business advisor, business consulting, business structure. So then you list those services, those keywords you want your Google Business Profile to appear for when someone searches for them near you. Then after you've listed those, you then need to go back in and you need to add a 2 to 3 sentence description of those services. Behind each of those services, you got to add a description. Not only that, what you also want to do is every attribute, every form, every field possible on your Google Business Profile, you're going to want to fill out. So, do you have free parking? Do you have a publicly accessible restroom? Are you veteran owned? Are you woman owned? What languages can you service? If someone speaks Spanish, can you serve them? If someone speaks French, Italian, English, do you have, or can you, do you or someone on your team speak those languages? Then you need to go on your Google Business Profile and you need to hit yes or you need to hit no for each. So as a CPA, a certified public accountant, you want to link your social profiles to your Google Business Profile, or from your Google Business Profile to your social profiles. You want to have a social profile for each of the 7 that Google allows you to link to. So the 7 are Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you've got Twitter, you've got Threads, you've got LinkedIn, and you have Pinterest. So as a certified public accountant, even if you don't post on those platforms, you still want a profile listing on each of them. Under each of them, you're going to want to type in the about or the bio about your company, your name, your address, your phone number, and your website link need to remain consistent across all of these. They all need to be linking back to your page. Also, on the platforms you do choose to post on, you're going to want to include links, URLs, going back to your pages. You can point them to the home page. You can point them to the new service page you just launched. You can also point them to the new blog you just launched. What this does is that when Google goes and crawls those social platforms, it's going to find those URLs. It's going to follow the URLs. It's then going to crawl those pages. This is going to help us get a better indexing rate. So getting our pages in Google when people search, and it's going to help us keep them indexed longer. So over years, as Google continues to go and crawl those as Google goes to continue crawling those social profiles, those social pages, it's going to keep finding those URLs. It's going to keep crawling those URLs, and it's going to help keep your pages indexed longer. Not only that, your posts on your social profiles on the social platforms you choose as a CPA can also rank in search. They can also get clicks. They can help you get calls or form fillouts for your services. They can get traffic for the services or the keywords you're trying to target so that you can start your sales process to get that new customer or sign that new client. So, as a CPA firm, you also want to make sure that you're responding to your reviews within 24 to 48 hours. I'm currently looking at one right now, and there are reviews on here that haven't been responded to in 3, 4, 6, 8, 9 months. 24 to 48 hours, respond to your reviews. Even if it's a 1 star, you're going to want to respond to that review. Anything between a 1 star and a 5 star review, which is all of them, you're going to want to respond to within 24 to 48 hours. So, something that we can do as a CPA firm is we can take the review content, so the things that people type about our company when they go to leave a review, and we can pull those to our website. So when we pull that to our website, what we get is free SEO content. What do I mean by that? So instead of us having to do all the SEO on-page optimization to where we have to put a whole bunch of text on the page, what we can do instead is we can pull all of this, use it as a trust factor. When someone comes and views the page, they'll look over the content, they'll see everything that's being displayed, they'll come across the review section that we place, right? What we can do is we can place all of it, but we can place it in a way that doesn't make the page a skyscraper. When I say skyscraper, what do I mean? So you ever been to a page where you have to scroll 10, 20 times to get to the bottom? That's a skyscraper. We want to avoid that. We can avoid that with the review content by strategically placing it in rather accordions, or we can do carousels, or we can do a review wall where it is a sub page or a sub scroll bar instead of the main scroll bar. So what do I mean? So they would have to go inside of it and rather click the accordion, or they would have to go in the sub wall and scroll it to see all of the content that's being displayed there, and like a traditional page would be. So what this does is that when the crawlers, the robots, come to the page and look at all the content on the page, they'll see all the content. They don't have to scroll to get all of those keywords, those keyword variations, the entities or the LSI words that our customers left in that review content. We can instantly display it to the crawlers and help with our SEO on page without having to create a skyscraper article, which ruins the customer journey of your clients that are looking for a CPA. So as a CPA firm, what you also want to make sure is that on your Better Business Bureau, on your LinkedIn, on your Yelp, on any directory listings talking about your business, any other social profiles, anything that has your business information listed needs to remain consistent. So the name of your business, the address of your business, your phone number, your website URL, all need to remain consistent. So theirs is all consistent on their Better Business Bureau profile, which looks good. Let's go look at their Yelp. Their Yelp listing looks good as well. His individual LinkedIn profile does not have a link going back. So he's linking back to his site, which is great. The only thing is that, so this CPA hasn't claimed their business's LinkedIn page or account. So right now it's blank. It doesn't have the phone number of the business, and it also doesn't have a link going back to the business. So as a CPA firm, you want to make sure that you're going to all of these social platforms which allow you to claim a business account like LinkedIn, like Facebook, and make sure that it is properly filled out. We've got a verbose about or a bio that talks about our business, has our name, has our address, and also has our phone number, and has a link back to our website as well. So they need to go clean that up, go check their MapQuest. So what they're doing great, the CPA firm that I'm looking at right now, what they're doing great is across all of their listings, their social profiles, anything talking about their business, the phone number is the same, which is great. This is exactly what you want to do. Their website right here, though, has a non-www URL structure. So what I mean by this is that, think about this. You have www.bookkeeping.com or you have bookkeeping.com. Whenever you visit your site, whichever you're given, www or non-www, independent of themselves, these don't matter. But what matters is that anything externally or internally linking to the URL structure needs to remain consistent. It has to be exactly the same. We do not want to force feed Google 301 redirects. So on this CPA firm's contact us page, they have a link to a Facebook account and the link is broken. They need to go fix that. You never want to link to broken things. You're just confusing Google. You're hurting Google's understanding or authority that they're trying to place on your site by linking to bad links. So also on their contact page for this certified public accountant company, they have a link that says Google Maps, but when I click it, the URL is broken. They accidentally typed in 2 S's, so the URL doesn't do anything. Not only that, when I just fixed it, the link takes me to an address. It does not take me to their Google Business profile. So this actually happens a lot. A lot of the recent audits that I've done, people have listings or they have Google Business Profile embeds on their site that don't actually take you back to their site. They take you to some address, which more often than not isn't the actual address of the business. So what we have to think is that Google's going to crawl this. Google's going to see that you have an embedded Google Business Profile map on the site that isn't actually going to the business. You're going to be, Google's going to be like, okay, what's going on here? Why are we doing this? or it's going to think, oh, that's their actual location, when in reality it's not. So then all of a sudden you're unable to rank where you currently are because Google thinks that you're actually at this other location that you're currently embedding a Google map to. So On the CPA firm's website right now, they have a About Us page. On this About Us page, they have a virtual business card and a link for each of their members or their staff. When I click these links, I'm force fed a 403 forbidden page. So when Google comes by, Google is also force fed a 403 forbidden page. Anytime on your CPA's website, you don't want to link to anything that is 301 redirecting 404 or 403s. You just want to remove the link, or you just want to fix the link. You want to fix the URL that is being served. So this is insane. So on the CPA firm's website right now, I'm going to / portfolio / and I'm given a boilerplate of lorem ipsum text. Not only that, what they have occurring is that their WordPress, their CMS, has a bug, an artifact, or a misconfigured setting that is creating a brand new URL. So every time that they post, it's given a date, right? So in the example I'm looking at right now, it's the 4th of December, 2013. If I click that, it's giving me a new URL with that date, but it's a 404. That URL or that page doesn't actually exist. So not only are they creating new URLs for the dates when they're posting content, it's 404ing. The other thing that's occurring is each time they add a blog, that date URL is being created. So you go from a website with 15 links, and let's say 20 of them are blogs, to now, and as a total, you have 35. You now have a total of 55 pages, which is causing URL bloat, but 20 of them are 404ing, which is going to reduce your rankings. So instead of being on page 1 in that first or second or third position, when someone now searches for CPA firm or CPA near me, you're on the 3rd page. Hardly anybody goes down or past the first 3 results, much less the 2nd page. So on that 3rd page, you're definitely not getting any traffic. You're definitely not getting anybody to come to your website to fill out your form or call you. So they need to go and clean this. Not only is it the date, but they also have the author. So the author of the blog is also getting their own URL. I'm currently looking at a URL right now that is /author /admin. So if they had multiple authors, that would also be creating brand new URLs. Not only that, they also have / category / uncategorized. So we've got a new URL for the date, for the admin, and for the category, which in combination, as we grow more and more, we're going to go from that 55 URLs to, you could have 100. You could have 600 URLs created, new pages, where Google comes by and is like, okay, what's the point of this? There's really nothing here for me. You're going to start getting indexing issues. Google's not going to index your service pages. Google's also not going to rank your service pages because this is occurring. And you're going to be wasting your crawl budget. So when you go to update your service pages, let's say it is indexed, when you go to update that service page, you start to add SEO, you start to add on-page SEO optimization. Google's not ever going to come by to crawl it because it's wasting its crawl budget for your site, the amount of time it's willing to come and crawl on all 600 of these pages you've loaded, you've created, that serve no purpose, that don't actually do anything because they're a date URL, they're an admin URL, and they're a category URL, right? On these pages, they don't serve a purpose. There's not a reason for them to exist. And so now all of your other pages suffer as a consequence. That's crazy. There's so much. No effing way. There's no way this is real. So this CPA firm's website has a category for all the types of content that they write about with their blogs. So they've got 1099, they got C Corp, they got cryptocurrency, deductions, donation, home improvement, PPP, real estate, S Corp, SBA, tax tips, taxes, and they also have uncategorized. So what's happening is that their WordPress, their CMS, the website builder that they're using, is creating these category URLs, which is bloating the amount of URLs that actually serve a purpose on the CPA's website. So we go from having one blog hub that has a list of all of our blog pages to now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 new pages. So instead of simply just having a blog hub with links to all of our individual blogs, we now have 13 additional pages that don't actually serve a purpose and are going to waste our crawl budget. They're also going to hurt our indexing and our indexing rate for all of our other pages. That new SEO optimization that we applied to our service page to get CPA keywords or services or people searching in Google for CPAs, that new CPA service page that we created is not going to be updated in Google because it's wasting its time crawling these other 13 pages. Not only that, their CMS, their WordPress, is creating dates URLs. So what do I mean by that? So they've got August, July, December, July, January, December, November, August, July, June, May, January, December, September, July, February, June, March, February, January, December, November, October, September, August, July, May, March, February, January, December, November, September, August, July, February, January, December, November, September, August, January, December, September, January. URLs. So historically, as they create a blog, it creates a date URL. So any blog that's created on that date is placed on this date URL page. So we go from having our blog hub to maybe like our 30 different blogs, right? To now we have 13 different category URLs. Now we also have, well, that was like, let's just use 30 as an example, because this example, there's like 50. So those 30 blogs I was just talking about, each were created on specific dates. So then now they have their own additional URL that isn't linked to the actual blog. It links to a page for that URL. So as an example, theirs is /2016/01. So we have 30 blogs. Then we have 13 categories. So now we have 43 URLs. Now we have 30 URLs for each of the dates we posted on. So now we go from 43 to 73. Google now has 73 brand new URLs, brand new pages that it has to crawl, which takes away all of the crawl budget that was originally going to go to your services, your location pages, your actual blog content. So that SEO optimization that you just applied on one of your service pages, Google won't see it for a couple of months because you have 73 URLs. Yeah, indexing issue that you're currently experiencing in your Google Search Console, or you're wondering why that new service page that you created that is not being displayed in Google right now, well, it's because you have 73 URLs that don't actually do anything. They're taking away all of your crawl budget. They're causing your indexing issue. Your new pages, your new service page, your new locations page aren't being indexed because, well, Google thinks that your website is 150 pages, when in reality, you know it's only like 30. It's only like 38. This is insane to me. I can't actually believe this is happening. So on their about page, they have another accounting firm's name. Every service you sell lives on one page. There is nothing to rank for any individual service. Is this serious? So on the CPA firm's website, they have a / services page. And it talks about all of their individual services. But what is happening is that you're not able to rank for keywords. So what do I mean by that? So whenever you create a page, you want to have a service, a keyword, or like a term someone is typing into Google to find your services or your product, right? So in this example, they would type CPA near me. Then we want a page, rather, we want a page that targets that specific keyword. So we want to optimize the on-page SEO to rank that our CPA service page for that keyword. What they've done is they just have a services page that lists and talks about all of their services. So when someone searches for payroll processing, when someone searches for quarterly and in-year reports, check printing and delivery, direct deposit, 1099 contracts, taxes filed and paid, they don't have a page or pages targeting those specific keywords or terms. They just have all of their services listed on one page. So when someone searches for those specific services, this page is not going to rank because Google is going to look at it and be like, okay, this has a whole bunch of information. There's nothing really very specific to a keyword that this page should rank for. So when someone searches for those services in Google, this web page is not going to appear for them. Each service, each keyword, each term you want to rank for needs to have its own individual page. Now, some services, some keywords, some terms are horizontal in nature or very similar that a CPA page could rank for, but when we go and look for something very specific, like let's say, as an example, an estate and trust setup, like if someone searched for that, you need a specific page, a service page targeting that keyword. It needs to be SEO optimized for that keyword. So also on this CPA firm's website, their most important pages, because they have no service pages for some reason, are missing their H1. You want to make sure any page you actually want ranking in Google needs to have an H1. In that H1, you need to have the main keyword you're trying to target. So also on the CPA firm's website, they have a page that is linking to the incorrect URL structure. So they have a page linking to a non-www. Their site only serves a www. So what's happening is that they're properly setting up the 301 redirect. So you visit the non-www version and your 301 redirected to the www version. But what you're doing is you're force feeding Google a 301 redirect. That should never happen. You just need to link to the correct URL version. Yeah, they've got so many different portfolio tags and categories. This is just insane, the amount of URL bloat that is happening on this site. Yeah, they've got a whole bunch of old 301 redirects that need to be cleaned up because they're also doing the category 1099 that then is page 1, and then it then redirects to the category / 1099. So their pagination and all of the CMS or the website builder bugs, artifacts, issues that are occurring, then again are just causing all of these massive 301, 404 redirects and errors. They've also got all of these dates that are appearing. Yeah, they've got a ton. yeah, this is too much to go through. So this is the end of a CPA firm's website based out of Pensacola, Florida. Let's see, where is. There's that. So let's see here. If you would like a link to my 7 part 7 step roadmap, 7 part roadmap, 7 phase roadmap. If you would like a link to my 7 phase roadmap, which includes keyword research, we've also got your Google business profile, then your website architecture. You've also got on page optimization. We've got off page optimization and cannibalization. Then we also have got a advanced schema phase. And last but not least, you got trust and owner entity building phase. Comment below roadmap or DM me roadmap, and I'll link this to you. If you would like a link to my 7 phase roadmap where we go over keyword cannibalization, if you would like a link to my 7 phase roadmap where we go over keyword research, what to do on your Google business profile, your website architecture, and then we also got some schema as well and more, then comment roadmap below and I'll link you the page. Blech. If you would like a link to my 7 phase roadmap where we go over the Google business profile, we go over how to do keyword research, we also talk about your website architecture and more, then comment roadmap below or DM me roadmap and I'll link it to you. If you would like a link to my 7 phase roadmap of your Google business, if you want a link to my 7 phase roadmap where we go over how to do keyword research, your Google business profile, your website architecture, we also talk about building. Let me make a notepad to make this easier on myself. Local business owners, if you want a link to my 7 phase roadmap where we go over keyword research, Google business profiles, we also talk about your website architecture and on your on page optimization and way more, then comment roadmap below or DM me roadmap.